My fiancé cheated with my business partner. So I let their greed tear them apart. Have you ever had two people you trusted more than anyone else betray you at the exact same time? Because I have. And the worst part wasn't losing my fiancé. It wasn't losing my business partner. It was realizing that while I was working 16-hour days trying to build a future for all of us, they were secretly building one without me. My name is Ethan, and 3 years ago, I thought I had everything figured out. I was 32 years old, running a rapidly growing marketing agency in Chicago, and engaged to the woman I believed I would spend the rest of my life with. Her name was Vanessa. Smart, beautiful, ambitious. The kind of woman who could walk into a room full of executives and somehow become the center of attention within minutes. Then there was my business partner, Ryan. Ryan and I had started our company together 6 years earlier. We weren't just partners, we were best friends. The type of friends who helped each other move apartments, showed up during family emergencies, and knew every embarrassing story from college. I trusted him with my finances. I trusted Vanessa with my heart. And that was my first mistake. Trusting the wrong people isn't a problem. Trusting them blindly is. At the time, our company was thriving. We had grown from 2 guys working out of a cramped apartment to a team of 22 employees. Revenue was climbing, clients were happy, and investors were beginning to notice us. Life felt perfect, at least that's what I thought. Looking back, the signs were everywhere. The late-night meetings, the private conversations that stopped when I entered the room, the strange glances between Vanessa and Ryan. But when you trust people completely, your brain automatically explains away suspicious behavior. You don't want to see the truth, because the truth hurts. One Friday evening, Vanessa told me she had to attend a networking event downtown. Ryan told me he was meeting potential investors. Neither story sounded unusual. Both sounded exactly like something they would normally do. So I didn't question it. Instead, I ordered takeout and spent the evening catching up on paperwork. Around 9 o'clock, one of our clients called unexpectedly. He wanted to discuss a proposal before Monday. The conversation lasted almost an hour. When it ended, I realized I needed a specific contract file that I'd left at the office. Our office building was only 15 minutes away. I figured I'd grab the document and head home. Simple. Routine. Normal. Except that night wasn't normal. When I arrived, most of the building was dark. The parking lot was nearly empty. Nearly. Ryan's car was still there. That seemed strange. His investor meeting should have ended hours earlier. At first, I assumed he was working late. Then, I noticed another familiar vehicle. Vanessa's. My stomach tightened immediately. Not because I suspected anything, because I didn't. I was confused. Maybe she'd stopped by after her networking event. Maybe they were discussing business. Maybe. Funny how we invent excuses before we even know what happened. I entered the building and took the elevator upstairs. The office lights were mostly off. Only Ryan's office remained illuminated. As I approached, I heard laughter, then silence, then a voice. Vanessa's voice. Soft, intimate, not professional, not friendly, intimate. Something inside me froze. I still remember standing outside that door. Part of me wanted to walk away. Part of me wanted to burst inside. Instead, I looked through the glass panel, and my entire future collapsed in about 3 seconds. They were kissing. Not the kind of kiss you can explain away. Not the kind of kiss that leaves room for misunderstanding. The kind that tells you exactly what's been happening, exactly how long it's been happening, exactly how stupid you've been. For a moment, everything became quiet. I couldn't hear my own breathing, couldn't feel my hands. Then Vanessa opened her eyes and saw me. The panic on her face was instant. Ryan turned around. His expression wasn't guilt. It wasn't shame. It was fear. Because both of them knew they had been caught. I walked away without saying a single word. No screaming, no confrontation, no dramatic scene. Just silence. The elevator ride down felt endless. By the time I reached my car, my phone was already exploding. Calls, texts, voicemails. I ignored every one of them. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in darkness and replayed 6 years of friendship and 4 years of love. Every memory suddenly felt fake. Every promise felt meaningless. Every sacrifice felt wasted. Around 4 in the morning, something changed. The heartbreak remained, the anger remained, but another feeling appeared. Clarity. You see, emotional people seek revenge immediately. Smart people gather information first. And I wanted information. A lot of it. The next week became the most difficult acting job of my life. I pretended everything was normal. I answered messages politely. I attended meetings. I smiled when necessary. Meanwhile, I quietly investigated. What I discovered shocked me. The affair had been going on for almost 8 months. 8 months. But that wasn't the worst part. The real betrayal was financial. Ryan had secretly been moving clients toward a new company. A company registered under someone else's name. Vanessa's sister. Together, they planned to leave our agency and take several major clients with them. In other words, they weren't just stealing my relationship. They were trying to steal my business. That's when I realized something important. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a moment of weakness. This was a calculated betrayal. And calculated betrayals deserve calculated consequences. I contacted a corporate attorney, then a forensic accountant, then an investigator. I didn't tell anyone, not even my family. For 6 weeks, I collected evidence. Contracts, emails, financial transfers, private communications, everything. The deeper I looked, the greedier they appeared. Ryan wasn't satisfied with his 50% ownership. He wanted everything. Vanessa wasn't satisfied with our future together. She wanted faster money, more luxury, more status, more attention. Their affair wasn't built on love. It was built on ambition. And greed is predictable. Greedy people eventually betray each other. You just need patience. The opportunity arrived sooner than expected. A major investor expressed interest in acquiring part of our company. The deal was worth several $1,000,000. Ryan became obsessed immediately. He could practically smell the money. What he didn't know was that the investor had already seen the evidence I gathered. The investor wasn't interested in Ryan. He was interested in me. Specifically, he wanted to know whether I could remove Ryan from leadership. The answer was yes. Very yes. At the acquisition meeting, Ryan arrived wearing his most expensive suit. Vanessa attended too, pretending to support the company. Everyone smiled. Everyone shook hands. Then the documents appeared. The legal documents, the evidence, the financial records, the contract violations. Ryan's face slowly lost all color. Vanessa looked like she might faint. For nearly an hour, attorneys explained exactly what had happened. Every secret transfer, every hidden communication, every attempt to redirect clients. Everything. The room became silent. Then the investor spoke and delivered the sentence. He would proceed with the investment, but only if Ryan was removed permanently, immediately, no exceptions. Ryan tried defending himself. Nobody listened. Because facts don't care about excuses. Within days, he was forced out. His ownership position collapsed under the legal pressure. His reputation suffered throughout the industry. And suddenly the future he had imagined disappeared. But the story wasn't over. Remember what I said about greed? Greedy people eventually betray each other. A few months later, I heard something interesting. Vanessa and Ryan were fighting constantly. Jealousy. Blame. Apparently, relationships built on deception aren't very stable. Who could have guessed? The woman who cheated on her fiancé no longer trusted the man she cheated with. The man who betrayed his business partner no longer trusted the woman who betrayed hers. Poetic. Really. Then came the final twist. About a year later, Vanessa contacted me. She wanted to meet. Against my better judgment, I agreed. We met at a quiet coffee shop. She looked different. Not physically, emotionally. The confidence was gone. The arrogance was gone. Reality had caught up with her. After a few minutes of awkward conversation, she finally admitted why she came. She and Ryan had broken up. Apparently, he'd hidden financial problems from her. He'd lied, manipulated, made promises he couldn't keep. The same behavior she helped him use against me. Then she said something I'll never forget. "Ethan, I think losing you was the biggest mistake of my life." Maybe she expected sympathy, maybe forgiveness, maybe a second chance. Instead, I smiled politely. Not because I hated her, not because I wanted revenge anymore, because I genuinely felt free. I told her something simple. The worst day of my life turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. And it was true. Losing them forced me to become stronger, smarter, more careful. The company continued growing. The investment succeeded. We expanded nationally. My career reached levels I never imagined. More importantly, I learned something valuable. Not yours. Theirs. When someone cheats, lies, or manipulates, they're telling you exactly who they are. Believe them. Eventually, I met someone new. Someone honest. Someone kind. Someone who didn't see relationships as opportunities. And for the first time, trust felt safe again. Not because people can't betray you, because I learned I could survive if they did. As for Ryan, last I heard he was bouncing between small consulting jobs. Most serious companies didn't want to work with someone known for betraying partners. Reputation takes years to build, minutes to destroy. And Vanessa? I genuinely wish her well. I don't spend time thinking about her anymore. That's the funny thing about real revenge. The movies get it wrong. Real revenge isn't ruining someone's life. Real revenge is building a better one for yourself. Because when the people who betrayed you look back years later, the most painful thing they can see isn't your anger. It's your success. It's realizing they lost someone valuable, and they'll never get that person back. So if you're going through betrayal right now, remember this. You don't have to scream. You don't have to chase closure. You don't have to destroy anyone. Sometimes the most satisfying outcome is allowing dishonest people to experience the consequences of their own choices. Because greed has a habit of tearing itself apart. And when it finally does, you won't need revenge. Justice will already be waiting.